Alright, hey, this is Mega here, and welcome to a warm summer day, alright? Why do I mention that? Because we're going to be checking the air conditioning level or the charge on my 2021 Toyota Rav4 Prime SC, okay? So, it should probably be similar for other models or other years of Rav4 Prime, or what would they call it now, Rav4 PHEV or something? Yeah, okay? Maybe it might be the same for the hybrid, I'm not sure, alright, but this is more specifically for the plug-in hybrid versions, okay? So if you don't know, the plug-in hybrid system has a heat pump system, alright guys? So that's where like it can reverse the basically the air conditioning to turn your AC into heat, alright guys? But today we're going to check the air conditioning charge level, right? And so it tells you in the logbook, right, the maintenance logbook, at 80,000 miles, all right? So Hayes may just hit 80,000 yesterday. It says here, and I'll put a close-up shot of it right now. Okay, it says fill air conditioner refrigerant, all right, and then there's a footnote. It says 6, and under 6 it says fill every 80,000 miles or 96 months. Okay, it doesn't mention. Oh yeah. So this is part of the 80,000 or 96 months maintenance. All right, guys. Thereafter, within the states that have adopted the ZEV regulation. What's ZEV? Zero emissions vehicle. Okay. So this is technically a zero emissions vehicle, all right? So yeah, I say to do it on a warm summer day, all right, or a hot summer day, because we're gonna have to run the air conditioning system at full blast to check it, all right? So it's pretty much the same as checking any other air conditioning system, I think, all right? As far as I know, I don't think there's anything in the service manual. I couldn't find anything on the service manual. And I couldn't find any YouTube videos or documentation online how to do this maintenance, alright guys, other than to check the level, alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to check the level or the charge of the refrigerant in the heat pump system, alright, or the air conditioning system with this gauge, alright guys. I'll put a link in the description where I purchased this, alright, I got it on Amazon. I actually have something very similar for the R1. I have a very similar gauge for R132 refrigerant, right? But the Rav4 Prime, all right, and a lot of modern Toyotas, they switched over to a different refrigerant, all right, guys? So since they switched over to a different refrigerant, you need to buy the proper the gauge with the proper fitting to check it, okay, guys, and to fill it, all right, that too. Okay, so Hayes Mega is not a HVAC technician or anything, but I've kind of done stuff like this before, right? From what I heard, the Rav4 Prime heat pump system or the air conditioning system is very complex, and it takes a lot of refrigerant. And another thing is this refrigerant, all right, I think it's a R1234 YF refrigerant is very expensive, all right. So hopefully it gets cheaper in the future, all right. But here, yeah, we'll take a closer look at the packaging on this guy, and then we'll go check the level, all right. So it's very important that you check the level. If it doesn't need to be refilled, then you don't have to do anything, okay guys? So the air conditioning system is a closed system, guys. There shouldn't be any leaks, okay? So yeah, you could probably drain it all and refill it again, alright? It just sounds like a waste of money and time, you know. You shouldn't have to mess around with the refrigerant if it's not leaking, okay? Now if it is leaking, then yeah, that's when you have to go take it to a HVAC technician, right, that has a vacuum pump that can suck out all the refrigerant and open up, they'll find where the leak is and all that stuff, all right. That's beyond my scope of level of expertise, is what I say, all right, guys. But I can check it and I can refill it, all right, guys. So chances are, but okay. So here's another caveat, all right, guys. If you're low on refrigerant, guys, that means there's probably a leak in the system, alright? So you're probably going to have to take it to a technician to find it, alright? But in the meantime, you can refill it. You know, you don't want the AC level, alright, the refrigerant, to get low, alright? That's what you don't want, because then it won't work And the life of your battery is very important on plug-in hybrid, all right, like this vehicle. Relies on that heat pump system, all right, because the heat pump system, it heats and it cools the battery too. Not only does it keep you nice and nice and toasty or nice and cool on the hot summer days, but it does the same for the batteries, okay guys? So that's why it's very important for the health of your battery. You don't want those lithium-ion batteries to get too hot, and they don't want them to get too cold. They like to be at the same temperature that you do. Okay? Alright, so let's go take a closer look at this guy. Alright, and then yeah, you guys saw the documentation. So at 80,000 miles you should do this. You could check it anytime, alright, but it says 80,000 miles you need to fill the air conditioning system. So that makes it sound like they're expecting it to leak already, okay guys? But there's no point in filling the air conditioning system if you haven't lost any refrigerant, okay guys? So that we're gonna go check that with this, okay? Okay, ta-da! Alright, so this is the tool that we're going to be using. I've actually used something very similar on my Toyota Previa and other vehicles. Alright, so the important thing about this one is it's for R1234YF, Yankee Foxtrot check gauge. Alright, it says auto air conditioning. It's made by a company called FJC. Funny thing is, I bought the last gauge I bought that was very similar to this. I bought it at Harbor Freight, but they don't sell it at Harbor Freight for whatever reason, right? Maybe they do now, I'm not sure. But so it says air conditioning products, tools, equipment, and refrigerant. So it checks the low side pressure, right? That's important. Low side, all right? Checks low side pressure for accurate charging of auto air conditioners. Measures the level of refrigerant in all R1234YF systems. Okay, and that's the gauge right there. It's like checking tire pressure, guys. It's that easy, right? Anyone can do this, all right, if you watch my video. All right, so that's the part number 2805YF. I will put a link in the description where you can purchase this, all right, where I purchased it. Hopefully they still got them. So it says here, it checks low side operating pressure to measure the level of refrigerant in an R1234YF system. All right, it is important that your system is fully charged for maximum cooling and not overcharged, okay, which may damage the compressor. Directions is so here's the directions. All right, guys, this is basically what we're gonna do. All right, it mentions it on the packaging, so it's important that you keep the packaging, guys. Start the engine, not in a closed garage. All right, in this case, we're just gonna start in EV mode. All right, and then put it on the lowest setting for the air conditioner. All right, so run air conditioner for 3 minutes. Press check gauge into low side port. Remove check gauge and view reading. All right, and then depress the button on the check gauge to reset. All right, do not use on high side port. Okay, because it'll just blow up. It's not designed for the high side. It's for the low side. All right, the low side port will generally be found in the larger diameter line that becomes cool between the compressor and evaporator. So remember, it becomes cool. All right, on most late model FM and Ford cars. Not worry about that. Okay. And then yeah, so this also gives you a chart, all right, and also the gauge. It already tells you and all that stuff, all right. But so if it's low, if it's in green, all right, 0 to 25 psi, it says system may require additional refrigerant. If it's blue, it's 25 to 45 psi. It has the proper amount of refrigerant, and if it's yellow, 45 to 65. It says it's overcharged, do not add refrigerant, and then over 65 it's gonna explode, okay? So don't do that, alright? Okay, so let's take a look at the gauge real quick. It's very simple. It's, like I said, it's just like a tire gauge, alright? So there it is. It's nice. It's got a nice rubber construction, and it's got a gauge, alright? And so that chart on the back is basically, it just tells you what this is. So you don't want it to go into the red or the yellow, alright? And then if it's low, you want to refill it, okay, guys? And then it should say filled. All right, when it's if it's in that blue area, then you're good. All right, blue for cool. All right, and then remember R1234YF. All right, if you tried to use this on the something the other refrigerant, the older refrigerant, then it's not going to work. All right, because the fitting needs to be the same. Okay, and then this is the reset button they're talking about. All right, so basically, you'll plug it into the port. It'll read the pressure, you take it out, and it'll hold it, okay? the needle will hold where at the highest setting, all right, and then when you want it to reset it, you press the button, okay? Just like some tire pressure gauges, okay? So let's do this. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is open your hood, guys. If you don't know where the hood release is, all right, you should. If you don't know where the hood release is, then you probably shouldn't be watching this or attempting what we're going to be doing in this video. It's right here, all right? You're going to pull up on this guy, all right? It's right next to the filler button, and then there's a hood prop on this side, all right? The hood prop is attached to this. You just take it out of here, and you put it, latch it onto that guy, all right? And then it'll hold it up, all right, guys? All right, so next thing to do is to turn your vehicle on, all right? And this is best to do on a warm or hot summer day. Okay, so we're in here. I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, I'm gonna put it on auto. That'll automatically turn the AC on, and then I'm gonna turn the thermostat all the way down until it says low. All right, if it says, you want to make sure it says low on both sides, and then it says you want to run it for 3 minutes. All right, so in the meantime, all right, it's gonna get it nice and cool in here. It's hot. It's hot as balls in here. So let's go into the engine bay real quick. All right, while it's firing that AC up. Okay, so you can hear the compressor running hard. So this is the area we're going to be working with, guys. All right. So there's 2 ports here. All right. There's the H port. There's one with the H on it, and there's one with the L. We want the one that says L. All right. And mine has a strut bar over it, but I already tested it. It will work with that there. Okay. So what you want to do is take the cap off of the low port. Okay, and then now we can go check it with our gauge. So anything, I would say let it run for like a good 5 minutes. Wait for it to get cool in the car. Okay, so we'll just let it do its thing, and then we'll come and check the level. All right, so I will go put the gauge right here for now. Okay, in the car, waiting for the sweet air conditioning to cool the cabin. So what we're gonna do is set the stopwatch, or we'll set a timer. Let's set a timer for 5 minutes. All right, I said 3 minutes, but hey, let's just do 5 minutes. All right, start it. Okay, so we'll come back in 5 minutes. All right, you want to make sure that the air conditioning is working. All right, and let's see, it is drawing power from the battery right now, and it should get cool in here. So, all right, and then yeah, you want to make sure that line gets cold. All right, but okay, so I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Okay, so on another note, so it's important to check it before you fill it. All right, guys, remember that. There's no point in filling it if it's already at the proper level. You shouldn't be low on refrigerant, right? Because the refrigerant doesn't. It's a closed system. It's not supposed to evaporate or anything. Okay, guys, it's just supposed to stay in the system. Now, if it is low, then you might have a leak in the system, and then that's when you're going to have to pay someone to do it. All right, and it's going to suck. All right, so hopefully your air condenser isn't like messed up, or your O-rings are leaking on your lines and all that stuff. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you this: my air conditioning works fantastic. Right, I used it a lot yesterday. I use it a lot every day in the summer. Okay, so, and then in the winter I use the heat. All right, so the air conditioning system, or the heat pump system in this car, it works very, very hard. All right, it is like the life of your vehicle. Okay, it's like, just think about it as the heating and cooling system for the human body. All right, when it gets hot, you start sweating, right? When it gets cold, I guess you start shivering. So, right? But yeah, so if you do check it and it is low, then you need to buy a kit, all right, to fill it. All right, so that is part of the maintenance. It just says to fill it, all right. But if there's no point in filling it if it's already at the proper level. Okay, so you save yourself some money. Don't just go start buying cans of R123 YF, because they're expensive, and you don't need to fill it, because that's why we check first. Okay, all right. Okay, 5 minutes are up. So your AC should be nice and cool now, alright? And it kind of is, alright? So let's get out of the vehicle. Okay, and then so I've already taken the cap off like I showed you earlier, and then just stick the gauge on there, alright? Okay, so it's 30. It's going down a little bit. What is it? It's in the blue. Okay, guys. I can't really read that, man. It says so there's a tick mark at 25 and a tick mark at 25, and it's like half, and it's going down a little bit. Why is it going down? All right. So you saw when I pressed it down on the port that the whole thing moves. All right, guys. So when you do it, all right, because I was doing it one-handed. All right, guys. Yeah. Let me put this on a tripod. Okay, I'm gonna demonstrate again, but anyway, so the needle is in the halfway point, all right, guys. So it's between the 25 and 45, and it's in the blue, so it should be fine, all right, guys. So I'm gonna reset it, all right, and then I'm gonna show you one more time, all right. So I'm gonna check it one more time, all right, and I'm gonna make sure I hold underneath it so it doesn't, so the line doesn't sag like it did this. Okay, so okay, take it out. Alright, so it's between the 25 and the 45, alright, so that leads me to believe it's somewhere around 35 or 40 psi, which is perfectly fine, okay, guys? So that means we don't need to fill it, alright? So yeah, so we're good, alright? So I don't need to refill it. When I do need to do that, Hayes Omega will make a video on how to do that, alright, guys? And I think it's just the same way that you do any other system, alright? But you got to make sure you use the R1234YF refrigerant, okay, guys? So when you're done, put the cap back on. And then your car won't have this strut bar, okay, guys? If you won't have it, it won't be in the way. I actually bent the line a little bit so I can get access to it, all right? But yeah, that should be good, okay? Okay, and so that's the end of our video, all right, guys? I hope this was an educational and entertaining video, all right? That was how to check the refrigerant level or charge on your Toyota Rav4 Prime. Right, more specifically a 2021 Toyota Rav4 Prime SE. So it's in the blue, so it's fine. All right, so it's good. We're okay. Yeah, it's maybe it's kind of low. Maybe we want to be a little higher than that. What I noticed is when we plugged it in, the needle, it just slowly drops. Okay, so what you probably want to do is look at it, plug it in, look at it while it's plugged in. Okay, guys, don't rely on pulling it out. But as you can see, it is in the blue. All right. And then so the good thing is, if you have this gauge, you can check it regularly. So check it, check it every time you change your oil or whatever. All right, whenever you see fit, check it. All right, and then if it ever gets down to like the 25, right, in the low area, then maybe you won't want to refill it. Okay, guys, but we're like in the middle of the blue area on the gauge, and we're fine. Okay, so I would not fill it. All right. I will just I checked the refrigerant at 80,000, right? So maybe every time I change my oil, I'll check it, all right? We'll just do the same procedure, turn the vehicle on, put it on low, and run the air conditioning, and then check it, okay? So if it's in the green, then you're gonna want to fill it, okay? And if you need to fill it, there might be something wrong with your air conditioning system, okay? If it's in the yellow or the red, then there's something wrong, all right, guys? There's too much pressure in your system. You should probably get that checked out. Technician, all right? Somebody might need to evacuate. Maybe somebody tried to fill it or something, and they put too much in, okay? So too much is not good for the compressor, all right? You want it to be just right, and right now we're like in the middle, and that's just right. That's what we want, okay? So, okay, so yeah. That's how you check the refrigerant level, all right? Or refrigerant charge on the Rav4 Prime. Link in the description where you can get one of these guys. All right, it's like important tool, all right, for your Rav4 Prime. So you can also use this on other modern vehicles that run this R1234YF, and it's pretty much the same, you know, the same story. You know, you just turn the AC on and everything, and let it run for a while. Okay, all right. Thanks for watching. Hayes Miguel.